Hey there, welcome to Equity Guru's 3-Minute Hit. I'm Chris Parry, and today we're talking about a company called FansUnite. FansUnite's origin story is pretty simple. They came to be in the midst of the esports slash sports betting gold rush from a couple of years ago, where every company out there had it in their head that folks were going to start betting big money on CSGO and League of Legends and the 49ers versus the Commanders. Sports betting has taken off, admittedly, but it's a big boys game. In order to really be a player in the sports book market, you have to have cash to market yourselves. This is why every single sports event on TV right now is covered soup to nuts with sports betting advertising. Now, this has become a big problem in the UK, where that market has decided to clamp down a little bit and start making it more difficult to do business as a sports bettor. In the US, that hasn't happened yet. Markets are still opening up. The gold rush is still happening. But as I said, it's for companies that have big wallets and big marketing dollars. Now, FansUnite figured out pretty early on that they weren't going to be that. And so they spun out their whole, esports tournaments and platforms for this and platforms for that. And recently, even just in the last month, they cleared out their McBookie Scottish bookmaking operation, made a good profit on that, as I understand it. From memory, it was about $2 million they spent, $6 million they got out. Then you've got their Chameleon betting platform that they've just sold to Better, BETR, one of the bigger players out there. That's a $10 million deal, as I understand it. And so with that money, they've spent some on paying off some debt. They've positioned themselves nicely with a bit of cash, and they continue to streamline their operations. Now, the financials just came out, and there's still a loss, but that's to be expected from a tech company that is pivoting into an area where they've found a little rich vein of interest. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, look, back in the day when the first round of online poker really kicked off, back in the glory days, when every sports channel, all they showed was guys in hoodies with sunglasses playing cards. The big money was to feed consumers into the the offshore casinos. Those guys, the guys that had made a real business out of that, made all the money. The casinos have small margins, and competing against one another, really, you need more customers. Like, the more you can churn your customers, the better you're going to do. And so now FansUnite has figured that out in the sports betting market. They've got a whole bunch of systems out there to draw in people who want to sign up for sports betting accounts, systems that allow them to run support for those guys when they come into bottlenecks and problems in signing up, and then feed them to the end user casinos for a lot of this. That's good business. Low cost, easy to scale, and they're already there. They're already into it. So right now you're looking at losses from the days when this company had 5 or 6 non-core assets, all dragging down marketing dollars, all having to be staffed up, all having to have growth capital applied to them. Now they've really got just a narrow thing that they are going at, where they know they've got good margins and getting better, and they know they've got good revenues. Now, as we go along, and those big boys keep bumping shoulders with each other and desperately trying to get new customers, who's the prettiest girl in town? FansUnite, FANS. Now, you can look at it and you can say, well, they're not making a profit yet. They just lost $6 million in the most recent quarter on net income. It was $9 million shortly before that, the quarter before. So what you're seeing is a company that is starting to really tighten things up. Now, no one's going to be happy until there's an actual profit. But if you look into the FansUnite financials, what you'll see right now, anyway, is they're starting to get to a place where that's becoming realistic. They just got an investment from a strategic investor, Tech Court Capital. They've managed to get themselves to a place where the net loss is better, but they're starting to get positive cash flow from operations, right? This is where you want to be. You want to start to see positivity out of some quarters of the financials. Now, if the financials were rainbows and unicorns, well, it wouldn't be anywhere near the $24 million market cap that it is right now. But consider this, that $24 million market cap, what have they brought in cash, in spinning off assets recently? About half of that market cap has just been added to cash. Now, that to me seems like it might be something that starts really showing up on the share price pretty quickly. personally, I've been buying at 6.5, 7 cents for some time. I think it's a good purchase at that price. I think that right now you're getting discounted because of the last several years of this company trying to figure out what it actually wanted to be. Now that it's figured out what it wants to be, now that it actually has its scope locked plan in place, it has its focus. Now it's about executing in one place. They don't need to raise a whole chunk of money to do that. They don't need to go out and build new sales forces and staff. They don't need to go into new countries, jurisdictions. They just basically say, oh, this state is opened up to sports betting. Let's go there and start finding customers for all of the big players that really want to corner that market. I think it's a good business. I think it's a lot less risky. I think it's got real positive upside. Look, is it going to be a $2 billion business by this time next year? Hell no. And in fact, you want to point back a year or two and say, well, mistakes were made? Sure, you can say that. You can be cynical about it. The reality is the market has evolved several times in the past couple of years. And a lot of the companies that were there at the beginning competing with FansUnite have floated by down the river. They're no longer with us, and FansUnite is. So that tells me that the management at FansUnite has been smart enough to read the tea leaves, see what's coming, position themselves well, ensure that they've got enough cash in hand to do business, grow where they need to, and call time on things that just weren't working out in the way that they might have been planned initially. Look, we'd love to be a massive sports book, taking in sports bets on every event in every state and country where it's allowed. That'd be a great thing. Is it reasonable? Is it rational? Is it likely? Not unless you've got a $100 million marketing budget, and FansUnite does not. Neither do most of their competitors. There's still a lot of competitors in this space that are down to 1 or 2 cents a share, that are down to no dollars, and that are really hoping that something happens, some sort of Hail Mary event to get them back into kicking into a real business. FansUnite has done that. They had the assets that they could monetize, and the monetization now sits in their accounts, has taken away some of the burden on their debt, has added to some of their ability to make moves. If they spot something in the wild that might be a good acquisition, they've got the cash to do it. The market cap is very reasonable at 24 million. I think it's actually way oversold, and this is the sweet spot time where you know they're doing the fixes because you can see it in their news releases. You can see it in the financial statements. They are actively doing the work to streamline this group, and the runs are on the board. Now, if you don't think that where they're going is a great future pass, well, that's for you. I get it. I feel you. To me, having lived through the online poker days when that thing went to the moon and back again, I know that the real money was made. The good money was made on being able to acquire customers for the big boys and have them auction off how bad do they need those customers, right? Don't just send them to one guy, send them to 20 guys. Highest bidder. Who wants what I got? That's good business to be in, and that's the business FansUnite is in right now. I like it. I think it's good. I think it's a good turnaround story. It is a long way from turned around, but the work is being done, and there's no question as to what their intent is. So for me, FANS, I realize this has been longer than a 3-minute hit. They always are. I really should just rename them. And hey, if you want more of this stuff, maybe come to the website, EQUITY.GURU. Get a load of me some more. Or just subscribe to us on YouTube. We'll keep sending you content for that too. Or maybe find me on TikTok, The Masked Investor. It's a thing. I'm not proud.